Son, I have some bad news. We accidentally replaced your heart with a baked potato. You have about 3 seconds to live.
Number 20, DVDA. No, that isn't an abbreviation for an alternative version of the home video format. In fact, it's the name of a music act consisting of South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
But that's because they don't know me. They don't know who I really am. I am Chewbacca!
They've attached the name to several songs heard both in and outside of their signature show. But it's not just the soundtrack that hints at this name. Eagle-eyed viewers can spot a teenage girl in the Season 2 episode Clubhouses sporting a DVDA t-shirt. It's both a nod to the duo's band and the movie Orgasmo, where the name gets its origins. Number 19, Notable Narrator. Season 16 gave us a fantastic parody of reality TV programming when it delivered I Should Have Never Gone Ziplining. Parodying the likes of I Shouldn't Be Alive, we're treated to an overkill of detail on intestinal distress and the perils of sliding down a wire.
The fourth graders are in a nightmare they cannot escape.
However, fans of the original show being mocked may recognize the voice behind the narration.
4 young boys in Colorado are on a trip from hell.
Eric Myers provides the commentary in the same vein as his other reality TV gig. Myers also provides his talents for the very show South Park is mocking, along with plenty of other reality TV-based programming. Number 18, The Real Life Leanne. Any longtime fans of the show can tell you how sex-positive Cartman's mom Leanne is. Her relationships with men have been seen countless times over the show's run.
Oh, you've been so helpful. I just don't know how to thank you.
I can think of a few ways.
Oh.
It turns out her antics and her name were inspired by a real-life Leanne. The story goes that Trey Parker was once engaged to a woman named Leanne who cheated on him. In retaliation, he wrote the movie Cannibal the Musical, which included a horse named Leanne that lets anyone ride her.
This is my horse, Leanne.
This gag then carried over to South Park in the form of Cartman's mother. Number 17, The Philadelphia Connection. Season 12's episode Tonsil Trouble saw Cartman accidentally become infected with HIV from a blood transfusion. From that point forward, we see Eric dressed in a Philadelphia Phillies hat and gray scarf.
No way. How you doing, Eric? You know, I think you're a real special little guy. And even though you have AIDS, I ain't gonna act any different towards you.
Given how atypical this look is for Cartman, some might wonder what brought on the distinct apparel. However, film buffs may have recognized the wardrobe. Tom Hanks starred in the movie Philadelphia about a man who is fired after his employer learns he has AIDS. Cartman's attire matches Hanks's character's choice of clothing to a T. It's both an obscure reference and a touching nod to such a powerful film.
We're not just sure, we're HIV positive.
Number 16, Sister Ann. Have you ever watched the credits at the end of South Park? If you have, odds are you've seen the name Ann Garofino more than once. Ann has been an integral part of not only South Park, but several other projects run by Trey and Matt. So when the boys of South Park start attending Sunday school, they're introduced to Sister Ann.
Now let me explain how communion works.
Any guesses as to who did the voice of Ann? Yes, Garofino herself provided the voice for both episodes the sister was featured in. Although she'd never provide her voice for any other episodes, she continues her work behind the scenes.
Sister Ann is a blasphemer!
I know you won't listen to me. That's why I brought somebody else.
Wow! Jesus!
Number 15, Phil Collins. The song Blame Canada from the South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut soundtrack was nominated for an Academy Award.
Blame Canada! Blame Canada! With all the hockey hullabaloo!
Much to the disappointment of Matt and Trey, their song lost out to Phil Collins. Not happy with whom they'd lost to, Collins became the subject of much ridicule in South Park. Both his winning song and mannerisms were heavily mocked throughout the Timmy 2000 episode of Season 4. Shown as a highly arrogant and vindictive man, he seems to carry his Oscar everywhere with him. Clearly, the show's creators were not happy with who they lost out to.
Shut your filthy holes, you little bastards!
Get off the stage, Phil Collins!
Number 14, a nod to 007. It's a literal blink and you'll miss it moment, but it's certainly a notable one. This nod comes as Kenny is delivered into the emergency room during South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. In the back of the room, there's a sign that lists the various assignments for doctors. One entry sees a request to disembowel Kenny, despite the fact that he hadn't died yet. But the real Easter egg here is the kill Bond note for a doctor named No. It's a fantastic little nod to the 1962 James Bond film Dr. No, who who also wanted to eliminate Bond.
I never fail, Mr. Bond.
Number 13, Independence Day. In 1996, a scientist named David Levinson found a way to thwart an alien invasion by giving them a cold. Independence Day may have been a fantastic film, but the defensive logic was a bit of a stretch.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Just how exactly do we infect the mothership with this virus?
So, it's no surprise that South Park poked a bit of fun at this during their Season 7 premiere. They too are at risk of Earth being destroyed, and a scientist, who bears a striking resemblance to Levinson, uses convoluted logic to save the day.
Wait a minute! Chaos theory!
Chaos theory?
Chaos theory. It was first thought of in the 60s. 60. That's the number of episodes they made of Punky Brewster before it was canceled. Canceled?
Huh?
Don't you see? The show is over. The aliens are canceling Earth.
It's also not the first time the show references the famous movie. Season 3's Chin Pokemon also reuses a line of dialogue from the film.
Spread the word, get on the wire to every parent around the country and tell them how to bring those sons of bitches down!
Number 12, Basketball. South Park had barely been out a year when both Trey Parker and Matt Stone starred in the David Zucker comedy Basketball. Although some fans swear by the film, the duo has gone on record as being less than fans of their efforts. So it's no surprise that their distaste spilled over into an episode of their show. Stan and Kenny are repulsed by Mel Gibson's film The Passion of the Christ and decide to hunt him down and demand a refund. It's here Stan mentions getting their money back for Basketball. It may be a quick little quip, but for true fans, it's nice seeing these different works connected.
This is just like when we got our money back for Basketball.
Number 11, A Very Crappy Christmas Mirrors Reality. Did you know that an early South Park video Christmas card may have been one of the first true viral videos? The spirit of Christmas was so popular that people were copying VHS tapes of the short film just to show it to others. In an ode to their roots, A Very Crappy Christmas features the four boys trying to create their own video Christmas card to showcase the true spirit of Christmas for the town. Not only does it feature footage from the original film, the characters are also shown going through the same painstaking stop-motion animation work the original was built on. It's an amazing ode to their origins, and far more meta than you might have realized.
I've been here too long. I'm sick of making this stupid cartoon and we're never gonna finish it anyways.
Number 10, Orgasmo References. 1997 not only marked the debut of South Park, but also a feature film Trey Parker and Matt Stone collaborated on.
You know, I don't sound like a queer or nothing, but I think Depeche Mode is a sweet band.
Following a Mormon missionary who becomes an adult entertainer/superhero, Orgasmo certainly earned its NC-17 rating. Although the film bombed financially and critically, Stone and Parker are not afraid to embrace it. In the South Park pilot, an Orgasmo poster can be found on Cartman's door. Considering Cartman's love of gross-out comedy, it's not surprising that he still has the poster on his door in several other episodes. Orgasmo also makes a couple of appearances in the form of a trophy, once at an award ceremony with Kathy Lee Gifford, and again when the boys win a dodgeball championship. It's not an Emmy, but it'll do.
Now let's hear it one more time for our world champion South Park cows!
What the hell is everyone wearing on their heads?
Number 9, Cartman's prison number. When Cartman lands himself in juvenile hall for chucking a rock at Token, he's given the prison number 24601.
Prisoner 24601 arriving.
To the average viewer, this might sound like just a random number. Fans of author Victor Hugo and composer Claude-Michel Schoenberg, however, will know that Cartman shares the same prison number as Jean Valjean from Les Misérables.
Yes, 24601.
My name is Jean Valjean.
Whereas Valjean was arrested for stealing bread, Cartman is far more deserving of being behind bars. Seeing as how Parker and Stone would later dominate the Tonys with the Book of Mormon, their knowledge of musicals should not come as a shock. Although Cartman is assigned this number, his uniform actually reads 26354. This number is a nod to Rick Deckard's ID in Blade Runner, giving us 2 references for the price of 1.
I'm Deckard, Blade Runner. 26354 on file and monitor.
Number 8, Artemis Clyde Frog. Throughout the Season 3 episode Cat Orgy, Cartman channels Will Smith in Wild Wild West, mixing gunslinging with rapping.
Fresh cowboy from the west side.
This subplot takes on a whole new meaning when you consider that Wild Wild West came out the same day as South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. This episode aired only a couple of weeks after the 2 films hit theaters.
That's how it goes in the Wild Wild West. Well, I'm a badass cowboy living in the cowboy days. Wicked, wicked, scratchy, yo, bang, bang.
Parker and Stone weren't exactly thrilled that their movie got beaten at the box office by the critically panned Western. According to Parker, though, many underage moviegoers bought tickets to the PG-13 Wild Wild West and then snuck into the R-rated South Park movie.
What should we do, Artemis Cloud Frog? We've got to get that picture to your mom so that she will come home and save us. Oh, that's quick thinking, Artemis Cloud Frog.
Plus, whereas Bigger, Longer, and Uncut received an Oscar nomination for Best Original Song, Wild Wild West won a Razzie for Worst Original Song.
Wicked Wild Wild. Wicked Wild. Wicked Wild. Wicked Wild Wild West. Jim West. Desperado. Rough Rider. No, you don't want nada.
Number 7. Captain Picard.
Time travel is no laughing matter. 4 times the Enterprise traveled back in time, and 4 times they almost didn't make it back.
South Park has made its fair share of Star Trek references over the years, but even the most diehard Trekkers probably didn't pick up on this one. Enraged that his son has joined a boy band, Randy Marsh bashes his head into a china cabinet after screaming,
"No! No!"
In this brief instance, you might have noticed that Randy suddenly sounds less like Trey Parker and more like a certain Starfleet captain. That's because the audio is apparently taken from Jean-Luc Picard himself, Patrick Stewart. The way Randy smashes the glass is even reminiscent of a similar scene in Star Trek First Contact, when Captain Picard loses his temper.
Jean-Luc, blow up the damn ship!
No! No!
That's cool and all, but it still doesn't answer how many original Star Trek episodes there are.
This has never happened in all the 72 original Star Trek episodes.
Yeah. Wait, you mean 73 episodes?
No, there were 72.
No, there weren't!
Oh, you are such a nerd!
Number 6. They Live Fight. One of the most famous moments in the entire series sees Timmy and Jimmy face off in a street brawl.
No! No!
What most viewers don't realize is that the fight is a direct parody of Roddy Piper and Keith David's SmackDown in They Live.
Put on the glasses.
The angles, dialogue, and fight choreography are recreated almost to a T. Even the setup is similar, except Jimmy wants Timmy to put on a hat instead of sunglasses. This wouldn't be the last time South Park borrowed from a movie to stage a fight. When Cartman and Wendy duke it out in the Breast Cancer Show Ever episode, it's executed in a manner just like the final fight from Snatch. Upon delivering the final blow, Wendy also mimics Daniel Plainview's famous final line in There Will Be Blood.
I'm finished.
Number 5. Throwaway celebrity cameos. Whereas some animated shows like The Simpsons have a special guest star virtually every week, South Park mostly sticks to its principal cast. In the rare case South Park books a big name, the creators usually saddle them with an absurdly small part.
No, Kitty, this is my corned beef cabbage.
Jerry Seinfeld once asked if he could voice a character but backed out. They asked him to play a random turkey. George Clooney, however, agreed to voice Sparky the dog in one episode, even though the character just barks.
Sparky, where'd you get that pink scarf?
Jay Leno signed on to voice Mr. Kitty in another episode, but only got to make cat noises. Although these were throwaway roles, Leno did previously voice himself in a special short, while Clooney later voiced Dr. Gouache in the South Park movie.
Son, I have some bad news. We accidentally replaced your heart with a baked potato. You have about 3 seconds to live.
Number 4. Oh my god, they censored Kenny! Since Kenny's coat muffles almost everything he says, you wouldn't think much thought goes into his dialogue, but Kenny's lines are in fact scripted.
What? Yeah, dude, I think your dog is gay.
That being said, chances are most of them wouldn't make it past the censors if they weren't incomprehensible. He is perhaps at his most profane in the intro song. While the lyrics Kenny sings have changed throughout the seasons, there's always something insanely dirty coming out of his mouth. Kenny's lines are so graphic that we're not going to repeat them here. Let's just say that over the years, Kenny's talked about his preference of the female form, the size of his primary sex organ, and what he'd like to do with Britney Spears.
So come on down South Park and meet some friends of mine.
Number 3. Alien sightings.
And slowly my bedroom door began to open. And then the next thing I remember, I was being drugged through a hallway.
Disney has hidden Mickeys, South Park has hidden aliens. The visitors first appear in the pilot episode, Cartman Gets an Anal Probe. Since then, these aliens have popped up in more than 75 episodes, although you'd need a pause button to catch them all. Occasionally, an alien image will appear on a poster, picture, or everyday items like money.
Here you go, Conan.
Other times, an alien can be seen amidst a large crowd of people. Random aliens have also been found casually hanging out in the background from time to time. Some aliens are so elusive that they blend right into the background, as if they're camouflaging. Seeing as how Earth is an intergalactic reality show, it makes sense that there'd be a few aliens working on location.
Where to now, Chef?
That thing inside Eric's asshole looked like some kind of alien satellite dish. We need to see my friend down at the Space Center now.
Number 2, characters everywhere. Before Ralph Breaks the Internet or Ready Player One, South Park had the ultimate clash of fictional characters in the Imagination Land trilogy.
Imagine an M60 for Jesus!
All right!
The boy is doing it! Everything is going to be okay!
In this image alone, you can spot Optimus Prime, Count Chocula, Ronald McDonald, the Blue Meanies, a Care Bear, and Raggedy Ann and Andy. Now just imagine that attention to detail spread throughout 3 whole episodes. The 200th and 201st episodes were also huge ensemble pieces, reuniting virtually every celebrity the show has ever mocked, from Martha Stewart to Jared Fogle.
Imagine it, Tim. Nobody could rip on you for all the rehashed movies you've made lately. There'd never be a TV show that pointed out you haven't had an original thought since Beetlejuice.
Both episodes are full of callbacks as well, including Tom Cruise getting easily offended, Muhammad not able to make public appearances, and Scott Tenorman's connection to Cartman.
Welcome to my Chili Con Carnival! Chili Con Carnival? Wait a minute. No, it can't be. Oh, but it can. Revenge is a dish best served chili.
Speaking of which, Tenorman's Chili Con Carnival is totally inspired by the Joker's The Killing Joke.
Doing? You're doing what any sane man in your appalling circumstances would do. You're going mad.
Number 1, sticking it to the MPAA. South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut is basically one giant middle finger to the Motion Picture Association of America.
Well, the film is R-rated and it's not intended for children.
But of course children are gonna see it!
Can I finish? The fact is that we Canadians are quite surprised by your outrage.
You just don't care!
Can I finish? Hello, can I finish? The United States has graphic violence on television all the time. We can't believe that a movie with some foul language would piss you off so much.
Because it's evil!
Can I finish? Please, can I finish?
In Parker and Stone's eyes, it doesn't make any sense that a movie full of senseless violence can get away with a PG-13 rating as long as it doesn't have too many 4-letter words. Bigger, Longer, and Uncut went through a lengthy fight with the MPAA to secure an R rating. Apparently, the film would have been rated NC-17 had it featured 400 swear words or more.
What did my son say, Mr. Mackey? Did he say the S word?
No, it was worse than that.
The F word?
Well, here's a short list of the things they've been saying, okay?
Oh, dear God. What the heck is a rim job?
So, just to push the envelope to the edge of what the MPAA considers bad taste, the South Park movie packed in 399 swear words, 146 of which were F-bombs. We wonder if the MPAA considers Barbra Streisand a profanity.
Barbra Streisand!
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.